Hey, how are you doing? Let's have a conversation about how the flow of information impacts an organization's operation. Please join me on this journey of knowledge dissemination. Enjoy the video. When many people think of technology, the default image is that of computers, information systems, mobile devices, the internet, etc. A more complete definition is that technology is the collection of techniques, skills, methods, and processes used to produce a result. Oftentimes, this does involve tools, and in the modern age, those tools happen to involve the aforementioned list. For example, the wheel is taken for granted so automatically that many may not consider it as a form of technology. Or, what about the use of irrigation to control the flow and amount of water in agriculture? This process has existed for over 5,000 years. Just imagine a world without the concept of a symmetrical, circular shape moving on an axis, or a world trying to feed a growing population without the ability to control the flow of water. In some ways, computer and information technology has reached a point where it is taken for granted and assumed to just be a natural part of life. All of this makes me think of what's called technological determinism. This phrase was coined by Thorstein Bunde Veblen. He was an American economist and sociologist who was famous for his critique of capitalism. He lived from 1857 to 1929. Veblen believed that technology determines a society's development of its social structure and cultural values. Technological determinism attempts to identify the influence technology has on our actions and thoughts. I think there are vast parallels between society as a whole and the organizations that exist within them. After all, an organization is impacted by the environment in which it operates, and organizations are kind of like mini societies, each with their own culture. Thus, if we think about technological determinism from an organizational perspective, we could better prepare ourselves for the continued advancement of innovative ideas. Since there are so many facets of technology, it is helpful to use illustrations to more clearly understand what is happening today. In a report that analyzed tech trends in 2019, Deloitte identified 9 macro forces that will shape organizational strategies and investment priorities. In CAME Discussion 6, I talked about the customer experience. Many of you might be wondering how technology might play a role. Deloitte created a graph that reimagines the customer experience. Notice that this is not a linear process. You don't just do this once and then you are finished. It is a new way of doing business. In CAME Discussion 7, I talked about the potential for IT departments to become business partners. Deloitte's findings support my viewpoint. This graph is from a survey that Deloitte conducted from May 2018 to June 2018. The survey examined technology trends and how those changes influence business decisions. 500 respondents, representing mid-market companies, participated. Half of those respondents were C-suite executives. Clearly, IT existing solely as a commoditized, operate and maintain department is becoming a thing of the past. Accenture's Technology Vision 2019 survey of 6,672 business and IT executives has some insightful data too. First, let's examine the participant demographics. Accenture identified 5 trends that will shape business over the next 3 years. Trend 1. New capabilities in fields such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, and quantum computing. Trend 2. Personalize the consumer experience. Trend 3. Empowering people within the workplace. Trend 4, cybersecurity. With all the connected technologies, they need to be safe from hackers. Trend 5, seizing the moment whenever opportunity presents itself. What is amazing is not just the fact that technological change is occurring, but also the rate of change. 45% of respondents say that the pace of innovation has significantly accelerated over the past 3 years due to emerging technologies. This might explain the pressure on organizations to remake the composition of their workforce. 43% of respondents indicate plans to shift at least 60% of the workforce into roles that require substantial reskilling. Earlier in this video, I mentioned that technological determinism touches upon a society's cultural values and structures. This is firmly exemplified by the concern for data privacy. Accenture's Technology Vision 2019 report identifies 3 personas with respect to privacy and a personalized consumer experience. It is great that businesses are starting to appreciate that not all customers see the same value add in the products and services they offer. But data privacy is so large, legal frameworks are being drafted to protect consumers. On May 25, 2018, a European Union law known as GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, took effect. The law shaped the way in which organizations manage data. This is something that impacts every sector across the globe. Keep in mind that even if a company is not based in the EU, it doesn't necessarily mean that GDPR does not apply, or at the very least has no impact. I think for the most part, technology is neutral. It is neither good nor bad. If the wrong technology is used to solve the wrong problem, is that really the failing of technology or the humans using it? When I say that organizations must ensure that they are solving the right problems, it is also implied that they are using the right tools. Technological determinism would suggest that laws like GDPR is a reaction to how the increasingly connected world presents unique challenges and opportunities that never existed before. Yes, people value convenience and productivity improvements, but at what cost? I believe that a failure to understand the power and limits of technology will lead to bad experiences for consumers, end users, and society at large. This, in turn, will lead to frustration and anxiety, and before you know it, this happens. Thank you for watching. I encourage you to provide feedback and participate in this conversation. Comment, like, subscribe. Visit my website. I'd love to hear other perspectives because knowledge is for everyone.